Awesome Okinawa Part 3. Food, Glorious Food of Okinawa by Shiny Visions. Food in Okinawa is amazing. Join me as I share some of our extraordinary dining experiences on this island. For a quick, cheap, yet delicious way of sampling local foods, start at the grocery stores. They sell large selections of freshly made offerings such as crispy batter-fried fish and vegetables, as well as skewered meats coated with brown savory sauces. These tasty foods are oftentimes set out while still warm from the kitchen. There's also wide assortments of box meals that include local favorites such as richly seasoned stir-fries, sliced meats, dumplings, noodles, and rainbow assortments of sushi. Most Okinawan home kitchens contain only small ovens used for fish. They aren't large enough for making breads and cakes, and therefore locals must purchase their bakery foods. The Hamby Market Bakery was only a 10-minute walk from our apartment. Its large ovens were packed into a small room just behind the shop, where we often caught glimpses of trays loaded with tall, fluffy loaves of bread being removed from its racks. This little bakery provides a variety of delicious items each day and constantly replenishes their shelves with enticing, hot-out-of-the-oven selections. Their irresistible aromas waft throughout the shopping center and even outside into the parking lot, luring customers in as if under trance-like spells. That was certainly the case for us. We were initially led here by our noses. But once we experienced our first bites of their fluffy, cloud-like cake topped with lightly sweetened fruit and gently dusted with powdered sugar, we were hooked and became frequent customers. This little bakery offers considerable variety, from moist, rich, chewy chocolate muffins embedded with soft chocolate squares and airy, buttery croissants to crispy, savory, curry-filled buns. And selections change daily. Heavy icing or sugar glazes are rarely used because the Japanese taste for sweetness is more subdued. However, a perfectly satisfying amount of sweetness is always achieved. But don't just shop the markets for your food experiences. Restaurants are plentiful and many are quite economical. Not only that, there's no tipping whatsoever in Okinawa. After our first meal at a restaurant, we left a tip on the table and headed out. Soon, we heard a voice calling after us. It was our server trying to return the money we left for her. This no-tipping culture in Okinawa is in itself a big cost savings when eating out. The following are some examples of this island's local food and drink scene. You'll see automation cleverly implemented as well as how efficient restaurant dining can be. Shabu Shabu. It is all-you-can-eat hot pot. At 990 yen, about $9.50 US, it is a tasty bargain. But there is a caveat, that you have a time limit of 90 minutes. You can purchase another hour for 1,000 yen if you wish. Service is extremely efficient. One press of the button at your table and almost instantly a server appears. Minutes after taking your order, she returns with 2 types of seasoned broths to be heated at your table's center gas burner, along with bowls of rice, an assortment of vegetables, and platters of thinly sliced pork and chicken. Then you drop your chosen meats and vegetables into the boiling broth. Within minutes, everything is cooked and waiting to be retrieved from the soupy mixture, ready for the next round. Soy and sesame sauces are available to add additional flavor. And with each press of the button, the server quickly returns to replenish whatever meats and vegetables are requested. In the end, you leave feeling beyond full, but very content from the delicious meal, and you realize that you had ample time to spare. Okinawa Soba Noodles. Soba noodle soup is a popular dish in Japan. The style of this noodle soup is unique to Okinawa. For the rest of Japan, soba noodles are thin, grayish-brown in color, and because they are made from buckwheat, have a stiffer texture. Okinawans make their soba noodles with refined wheat, and they are white, thick, soft, and chewy. Another difference is that the soup broth is thick, containing some oil. In contrast, soba broth from Tokyo is light and clear. The dish shown here has generous chunks of tender seasoned beef, lightly scrambled egg formed decoratively into a roll, and a piece of pressed fish, all atop lots of homemade soba noodles bathed in rich, thick, satisfying broth. At $7 for the large size bowl shown here, it is usually more than one can eat, and definitely a bargain. At Rikon Mall, a huge multi-storied shopping mall, food court dining is taken to a new height. The food court occupies 2 levels of one section of the mall, offering a wide variety of restaurant-quality foods. The seating areas are light, expansive, and clean. One can choose from a wide variety of options such as Italian, Korean, and steakhouse-style foods, as well as traditional noodle soups and stir-fries. Each vendor serves their food not in styrofoam containers like in the US, but in lovely patterned ceramic bowls and plates. Each design is unique to the vendor, so the tableware can be easily identified and returned. What a great way to reduce waste. This ramen from the food court is some of the best around. Thin, white wheat noodles in a thick, rich broth are topped with pork, scallions, and thinly sliced mushrooms. Little meat-filled pot stickers provide crunchy accompaniment. Ramen Soup. Contrary to my experience from college days, this Japanese comfort food can come in forms other than the cellophane-wrapped dry wavy noodle blocks with foil flavor packets. I contend that Japan's ramen soup is an art form. Ramen recipes are closely guarded and not easily replicated. The rich, thick broths result from hours of simmering a variety of meat bones, vegetables, and spices. The types of noodles used can vary greatly, with each region in Japan specializing in their own versions of ramen. Sushi Go Round. It is automated, inexpensive, and delicious. There are no servers in this restaurant, yet the food is brought fresh to your table and cooked to order if requested. How is that possible without a server, you ask? Dining is self-catered and conveyor belt driven here. First, you fill your own water glasses from a nearby station and bring them to your table. A conveyor belt loaded with food selections travels past each table, allowing diners to view every offering. When you see something you want, simply reach and pop open the dome covering the food and remove it from the conveyor. You can also order directly off the menu. Orders are placed using touchscreens mounted above each table. You can choose from the entire multi-page menu, including desserts. Within minutes after ordering, a second conveyor belt located directly above the first one comes to a quick stop at your table with your special order food. Once your plate is empty, you slide it into a receptacle located at the side of the table below the touchscreen. This action increments a tally that tracks the number of plates used, from which your final bill is determined. Like watching a long train chug by with all its various cars, it's fun to watch the small plate options passing by, and at 100 yen a plate, less than $1 US, trying new dishes is cheap. The hint of sweetness of the raw scallops, tuna, salmon, and sea bass demonstrate their exceptional freshness. There are also hot items available. The special order soba noodle soup arrives steaming and subtly seasoned, with the tempura shrimp on top delicate and crispy. It was a flavorful complement to the other cold selections. When finished, you push a button which summons an attendant. She quickly arrives, adds up the special item dishes on the table and the count of plates displayed on the screen, then hands you the final bill. This no-server method of dining is popular in Okinawa. It is efficient, economical, and delicious. Vending machine soba. Another interesting way the Japanese have implemented restaurant automation is by ordering meals via a vending machine located at the entry of the restaurant. You heard right, and yes, at first we were dubious of this method of dining as well. Upon entering, customers first stop at the vending machine, put in money, then press buttons next to pictures of their selections. The machine will then either drop change out or indicate that additional money needs to be deposited, just like when selecting soft drinks or snacks from a vending machine in the US. The machine then drops tickets into a bin below, printed with the names of your food selections. It's similar to how a bag of chips falls into a vending machine bin in the US. The customer collects the tickets and hands them to an awaiting worker who delivers them to the kitchen. Within a few minutes, piping hot bowls of noodle soups are brought out, every bit as delicious as foods ordered from servers at restaurants. The machine is designed to allow you to customize your order, like with Soba noodles, the type of broth, meat, additional veggies, and serving size. Once again, efficiency is key, but without any sacrifice to quality or even dining experience. Even non-traditional foods in Okinawa are superbly made, like these Indonesian and Indian dishes and even American foods served at restaurants in American Village. We often found them actually tastier and better made than in the US. And finally, we can't leave without a word about the traditional drink, habusaki. The poisonous habu snake is indigenous to Southeast Asia. Public parks display signs under trees that they inhabit, admonishing visitors not to walk underneath them in order to avoid the risk of these snakes dropping on top of a person and attacking. Habu snake venom can cause permanent nerve damage as well as death. To make habusaki, which is also called Okinawan wine, a habu snake is either placed in a jar alive and then drowned with rice wine or cooled down until unconscious and then suddenly revived to induce the open-jawed attack pose, the desired display when placed in clear jars. This sake with snake is then aged, sometimes for several years, which increases potency and helps neutralize the venom. Some of my husband's co-workers decided to try this local libation at a nearby bar. They watched as the bartender vigorously shook the jar, ensuring that the habu snake essence was well distributed among the servings. The effort must have worked because bits of snake appeared in each shot glass. The taste was horrendous, and for the entire next day, these guys experienced, let's just say, extensive and aggressive purging of this habu sake from their systems. Some things are perhaps best left to the locals. Finally, don't be daunted going to Okinawan restaurants because you don't speak Japanese. Most restaurant servers have a basic understanding of English. The Google Translate app can provide great assistance in understanding the menu. That, along with some pantomiming and pointing at pictures on the menu, you too can successfully navigate through any local eatery menu or market in Okinawa. Trust me, you will have a great food experience. Thanks for watching my video, Awesome Okinawa Part 3, Food, Glorious Food of Okinawa. Please subscribe to this channel and check out my website, shinyvisions.com, for more adventures. My next video in this series is on the amazing artistry in Okinawa. Don't miss it. This is Shiny Visions.